My name is Adekunle Olanipekun, and I'm the team lead of this initiative. Also, this initiative was actually batted to bridge the gap between young lawyers and the big wigs in the profession. We have identified a big gap between young lawyers and the senior lawyers of the profession. So we are trying to see how we can bring young lawyers closer to the big wigs, which at the end of the day, we are seen as the future of the profession. So that is why we're having you on the show today. Thank you so much, NSC, for agreeing to be on the show today.
My pleasure, and you're welcome.
Quickly, sir, can we meet you?
My name is P.H Ogbole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And I have a law firm here in Abuja, and I've been practicing for quite a while now. I was called to bar in 1989, having finished from the great University of Jos, in Jos. And I was called to the inner bar in 2019, and I've continued to practice law up until now. I find law is a very interesting profession, and one that is sanctioned by God, and one that can give back to society, one that can enthrone justice. So I'd like to see myself as one of the lawyers, of the many lawyers, who take upon themselves the fight for the cause of justice, for the common man, for the businessman, for one who is involved in democratic pursuits, and for one who is involved, or one who is interested in settlement of disputes in the area of arbitration. So my span of practice has covered pretty much these areas. I have been involved in a lot of criminal cases. I've done quite a lot of them, and I've done a lot of political cases, as well as a lot of cases or legal services bordering on investments, business and investment, on the side of private sector and also on the side of government. And I find law a very interesting course, a very interesting subject. I would say that I took interest in the profession right from childhood, because I grew up in an environment where I was exposed to seeing lawyers early in the day, and so it was something I already looked up for right from childhood. And
so you need to conclude that serves as a motivation to becoming a lawyer.
Principally, yes, I would say so, because as a child growing up, my father was a lawyer, then a judge, and I saw him every day of my life as a child. So I could see all they were doing. So I was like, that put my interest in that direction. And I guess also naturally, as a person, I'm one who I love fairness. I abhor injustice. And so I like to see myself advocating for the cause of justice. And I see law as an avenue where you can fight, you can advocate for people's rights, you can advocate for wrongs to be remedied. And so that tendency and that trait from childhood, I never like to see people oppressed, and I never like to see injustice, like I said. So all of this helped to shape my interest in the profession. And then I got to study law, and then my interest has continuously been watered, and every day I see law as the profession that is actually designed by God to help to bring justice to mankind. So pretty much for me, it's what I love to do. And so you can see that even for lawyers, when they find themselves in any area of human endeavor, be it in business, in politics, in governance, or whichever way, whichever endeavor, there's something right there in their DNA that would naturally say, hey, what is the law? What is fair? What is right? And something will continuously prick them in their heart, say, stand right.
Absolutely.
So, it's an interesting profession.
Thank you so much.
And the future is for younger ones aspiring to come up into the profession. The future is bright, undoubtedly.
Thank you so much, Tennessee. So this leads me to my next question. While you're making your introduction, you said your dad was a judge. So aside your dad being a judge, which would have served as a motivation, are there any other jurists or advocates you look up to growing up?
Oh yeah, quite a lot of them. If I say growing up, I may be limiting it to people way back. So some towering personalities for me in the profession in advocacy. One that would come to mind any day is Chief Wole Olanipegun. Incidentally, and look, I can go on and have made a mark and who do very well. They've shown industry, they've shown dexterity, they've shown commitment to the profession, and so yes, there's this. If I just probably would mention two, because I could mention more.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
To remain
Absolutely.
Inspirations, and then for jurists, yeah, great jurists like my Lord Justice Ogbole, Justice Echo, Justice Esho, Justice Oputa, Justice Owais, Justice Mohammed Bello. I can go on and on and on and on. So yes, we've had great jurists in this country.
So this moves me to the issue of there's a very trending issue in the profession now. When you see a lot of young lawyers, they don't want to go into pupillage. Some of them says litigation is boring, it's frustrating, it's exhausting. So I would like to hear your perception about pupillage. What do you think? Do you really think pupillage should be a thing? And and a lot of people feel like, a lot of young lawyers feel like doing pupillage, and most of the principals don't even encourage them. Some don't even pay. So I want to hear your perspective. What do you think about pupillage for young lawyers?
You see, the legal profession is a trade. It's also a trade, and one in which skill matters, and with skill is essential. So for you to get better, you must be exposed to an avenue where your skill can be honed. And where better can you do that than in a law firm or in court, attending court from time to time. So when young lawyers find themselves in an environment where they can learn and practice in the profession, the trade of law practice, they invariably get better by the day. So I support a situation whereby that opportunity is available. And before 1985 or 1986, if I recall, lawyers who were called to bar required to have undergone pupillage in established law firms for about 3 to 5 years or so, I'm not too sure now, before they could go out on their own to set up their practices. But that has changed. So when you were undergoing pupillage, you were bound to learn from seniors, established seniors. And first, the practice of law, then the art of management of the law office, the culture of law, the etiquette of the profession in an environment, in a structured environment like a law firm. So that happened before around 1985 or 86 or something, when it was liberalized that anybody from the one will go set up his own practice. So, so I think the benefits for lawyers and undergoing pupillage are immense. You can't quantify those benefits, and you can almost see that lawyers who went through pupillage are invariably better than those who didn't. It's not a rule, but the tendency, because they must have been mentored, they would have learned, made their mistakes early in the day, where the seniors would correct them either in-house or when they lead them in court and stuff like that. So mentorship is important for the growth of the profession. And I think that the way the younger ones can grow is when they are supervised, and the practical training is accorded them by people who are more experienced. Watch out for this, watch out for that. You know your boundaries, understand the regulations, the rules, and someone leads you by the hand and leads you through the way, and over time you are able to stand on your own, and you build the confidence to stand on your own in practice. So I'd say that yes, I don't see a substitute for pupillage. It's very, very important, and we should encourage it. You would say that maybe there is no pay, or the pay is minimal. That itself is true, and that is also a function of a lot of factors. One of which factors are the issue of the economy. There's no structured, how do I call it now? There's no structured system whereby a profession is a fund, like call it stabilization fund or mentorship fund, established, that can continue to revolve as people are trained when they get to age and are established in the practice, they plow back where that can support. So I think it's something which we must encourage. So funding is also part of the challenge. Exactly. Because as young lawyers, you don't bring much to the table because you're still learning.
Yes, sir.
And so who will fund your training? Who will sponsor you for the while that you are there? So I advocate for a situation whereby there's a fund that can support this mentorship. And so we have a situation whereby the economy on its own is not robust enough, even for established law practice practitioners, legal practitioners, who we feed on the economy, literally. Kind of, if the economy is good and buoyant, yes, it's also good for lawyers. And if the economy is drained, is flat on its feet, flat on its tummy, we also suffer. So we crave for a robust economy, and so that the earnings of lawyers is also improved, and the lawyers willy-nilly are encouraged to lend a hand to supporting young ones in pupillage. So, but when we have a stabilization fund, that will make it a lot easier. It reminds me of the Igbo apprenticeship system. And that's why you see that the Igbos are usually very good in trade, because right from a very young age, they're able to learn a lot in terms of, skill from right when they're young. They make the mistakes, they are told the nuances, the do's and don'ts, as you try business. So there's something we also have to learn from that. Even in
Thank
practice.
you so much, Celestic. Which brings me to second to the last question. It wasn't part of the question, so I know you're a very vibrant member of the bar, and I wouldn't know if it's something you would like to recommend, to the MBA as it is, or perhaps I know perhaps you might have an aspiration, some other, some maybe if in future time. Is this something you would like to consider? Like you made mention of the stabilization fund and all of that. Is it something, something you really take as a core, or something you would recommend to any NBA president to look into and see how we can improve the lives of the young lawyers in the society?
Well, let me begin from about ambition and what of that. I don't know about tomorrow, but for me, what I'm concerned is that practice the law, improve myself in the practice of the law, render service to the legal community and to the society. That's my call, and I pray God to give me the enablement to do that. Now, for younger lawyers and the issue of apprenticeship, it's foremost in my mind because we need to give back to society. And we pray that the younger ones after us are better than us. They have a better practice than us. And the only way to do that is to give them the best practical training that we can at this point in time. And a major instrument that can help support is funding of a mentorship, institutionalized mentorship scheme for younger lawyers. And yes, even personally as advocated, also continue to suggest it to members of the legal profession, leaders at the bar, and the thing about support for the mentorship program, all of it that cannot come from MBA or from lawyers or even judges, but it's something that the entire society who ultimately benefit from the legal profession one way or the other must lend the support. So it's something I advocate, and I will continue to canvass it to the leadership of the bar at every point in time that they should critically look into that.
We'll be glad, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
So, sir, I would like to ask again that as a senior advocate of Nigeria, I know there are a lot of responsibilities. You also handle a lot of, high-profile cases and like. So, I would like to ask, what do you do for fun? Or how do you relax from all this stress?
I listen to music.
What about music side? If I can add.
I'm more of a reggae person, so I listen more to reggae, and reggae kind of resonates with the struggle for justice, for the emancipation of the black man. And
so I have no doubt that you'll be able to sing well, sir.
Say again?
I said I have no doubt that you're able to sing, sir.
Well, I like to sing. I like to sing, and then maybe also try my hands on a musical instrument or something.
Wow.
So,
like, what's your favorite musical instrument, sir?
Two of them, the guitar and then the keyboards.
Okay, I can say guitar behind.
Oh yeah, I have a guitar here. So
you like to strike some chords for us, sir?
I'll send that one. Yes, I have a. So
you listen to music and you play instruments.
Yeah, I listen to music and I try my hands on musical instruments, the guitar and the keyboards. And so yes, I also do sports.
Wow.
I like to use the gym when I can. and I like to play badminton and basketball. So these are the ways I engage myself.
So you
But
don't do football,
I travel a lot.
You don't do football, sir?
Football.
You have a favorite team?
Football. I like football, but I'm more of basketball
Okay.
and badminton than football. And yeah, I like to do a lot of exploration. I like to explore nature, and animals. One of my favorite channels on TV is Wild, not Joe Wild, and then Animal Planet and Geographic and stuff like that. So I'm a lover of nature. Climb mountains. I climbed virtually I've done like 100 kilometers trekking. Mountain, they call it plateau scheme. 100 kilometers in 2 days. 50 kilometers through Gog and Magog and the plateau scheme in the plateau area, and then 50 kilometers back the next day.
Wow.
I've done like 20 or 30 kilometers jog and walk, and stuff like that. I do stuff like that. I do. So I like nature. I like nature. I like to interact with nature. Seasides, mountain climbing, vegetation, and some quiet times in such environments. Yes.
Thank you so much. It's good to know this side of you, sir.
So finally, sir, I would like to ask that what will be your recommendation or general advice to young lawyers out there?
Hard work. It doesn't kill. Patience, discipline, and dedication. This will take you very, very far in the profession.
Thank you so much, Mr. So to our dear viewers, here you have it. Chief P.H Ogbole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much for the time spent with us today. We are really grateful. And on myself and on behalf of the young lawyers in Nigeria, we say a big thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.